The rain hammered Seattle like it had a grudge, turning the streets into slick mirrors that shattered under every passing headlight. Noah Harlan stumbled out of the dive bar on Pike Street, his vision blurred not just from the downpour but from the whiskey-burning holes in his chest. He collapsed against the brick wall, sliding down until his ass hit the puddle-soaked sidewalk, and that's when the sobs came, ugly guttural things that clawed their way out like they'd been trapped for years. A shadow loomed over him, broad and unyielding, cutting through the storm like a knife. "You gonna sit there drowning yourself, or you need a hand up?" The voice was gravel and ice, belonging to a man who looked carved from the same stormy night, tall with sharp jawline shadowed by stubble, dark eyes that held no warmth, just a piercing assessment. Noah looked up, rain mixing with tears on his face, and for a split second, he wished the stranger would just walk away. But the man didn't. He extended a gloved hand, leather slick with water, and pulled Noah to his feet with a grip that felt like it could crush bone or save a soul. Noah Harlan had always been the type to fade into the background of his own life. A 28-year-old barista in a city that chewed up dreamers and spat out husks. Seattle suited him that way, endless gray skies mirroring the fog in his head, the constant drizzle a polite excuse for the ache he carried everywhere. He'd grown up in a suburb of Tacoma, the kind of place where houses huddled together like they were afraid of the dark, and his parents had loved him in that quiet, conditional way that left room for secrets. Noah's secret had been buried deep. The boys in high school locker rooms who made his pulse race, the crushes on straight best friends that ended in nothing but silence and self-loathing. By college at the University of Washington, he'd come out in fits and starts, but the hookups were always fleeting, ghosts that vanished before dawn. Tonight, though, wasn't about ghosts. It was about the fresh wound. His boyfriend of 2 years, Riley, had packed a bag and left their cramped Capitol Hill apartment that afternoon. "I can't do this anymore, Noah. You're too much sometimes. Too needy." The words had landed like punches, each one echoing the old tapes in Noah's head. The ones that whispered he was broken, unlovable, a burden wrapped in a smile. Riley hadn't even looked back as he slammed the door, leaving Noah with a half-empty coffee mug and the kind of emptiness that made the walls close in. That's why the bar. That's why the shots. And that's why, when the rain drove him outside, he let it all pour out right there on the sidewalk, not caring who saw. The stranger, Hunter Voss, though Noah wouldn't learn his name for another 10 minutes, didn't flinch at the breakdown. He was older, maybe early 30s, with the build of someone who worked with his hands, broad shoulders under a black wool coat, forearms corded with muscle peeking from rolled-up sleeves. His skin was a warm olive tone, hinting at some Mediterranean heritage his family had long ago scrubbed from their story, but his eyes were pure Pacific Northwest steel, gray-blue and unreadable. He smelled like pine smoke and motor oil, the kind of scent that lingered on a man who fixed things for a living. "Name's Hunter," he said finally, after steering Noah under the awning of a shuttered bookstore. No pity in his tone, just fact. He pulled a flask from his coat pocket, silver, engraved with initials that caught the street lamp glow, and offered it without ceremony. "This'll cut the chill better than tears." Noah took it, hands shaking as he swigged. Bourbon, smooth and fierce. It burned going down, but in a way that grounded him. "Noah," he managed, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand. "And thanks. For whatever this is." Hunter shrugged, leaning against the wall with arms crossed, rain dripping from his dark hair cropped close at the sides. "Seen enough guys like you on nights like this. City's full of 'em. What did he do? The one who left you looking like roadkill?" The directness hit Noah like a slap, but there was no malice in it, just a blunt honesty that Seattle rarely afforded. He laughed, a wet, broken sound. "Boyfriend. Ex now, I guess. Said I was too much. Too emotional. Like that's a crime." Hunter's gaze flicked over him, assessing, not judging. "Emotional's not a crime. It's human. But some folks run from it like it's the plague." He paused, fishing a cigarette from his pocket and lighting it with a Zippo that flicked open like a gunshot. The flame illuminated the faint scar running along his jaw, a thin white line against his skin. "You got a place to crash tonight, or you planning to marinate in this puddle till morning?" Noah hesitated. The apartment loomed in his mind, Riley's cologne still on the pillows, the echo of that slammed door. Yeah, home. It's not far. Hunter nodded once, decisive. I'll walk you. It wasn't a question. Before Noah could protest, Hunter was striding into the rain, coat flapping like a cape. Noah followed, the bourbon buzzing in his veins, turning the world soft at the edges. The walk to Capitol Hill was a blur of wet sidewalks and neon signs blurring into watercolor. Hunter didn't fill the silence with small talk. He let the rain do the talking, a steady rhythm that matched Noah's uneven breaths. Every now and then he'd glance over, those cold eyes catching something, Noah's hunched shoulders, the way he hugged himself against the wind, and he'd mutter directions like watch the curb or streets flooding up ahead. It was the barest thread of care, but in Noah's raw state it felt like a lifeline. By the time they reached the narrow stairs to Noah's walk-up, the storm had eased to a spiteful mist. The building was a faded Victorian, paint peeling like old skin, the kind of place that whispered stories of better days. Noah fumbled his keys, cursing under his breath, and Hunter, without a word, took them gently, unlocked the door and held it open. Inside, the apartment was a mess of half-lived dreams. Books stacked on every surface, a guitar leaning forgotten in the corner, posters of indie bands curling at the edges. Riley's side of the closet hung open, a void. Noah flicked on a lamp, the warm light mocking the chill in his bones. You want coffee? Or something? Hunter stepped in, closing the door against the world. He shrugged off his coat, revealing a flannel shirt stretched taut over his chest, jeans faded at the knees. Coffee's fine. Black. As Noah busied himself in the tiny kitchenette, the weight of the evening crashed back. His hands trembled on the mugs, tears pricking again. Why was this stranger here in his space when Riley, the man he'd built his fragile world around, had bolted at the first sign of storm? He set the coffee down harder than intended, the splash burning his thumb, and that's when it broke loose again. Sobs, shoulder shaking, the kind that made his vision tunnel. He expected Hunter to back away, make excuses about the hour. But the man didn't. Instead, Hunter crossed the room in 2 strides, pulled Noah into his arms without preamble. It was awkward at first, Noah stiff, Hunter's body like forged iron, but then Noah melted, face buried in the crook of Hunter's neck, inhaling that pine smoke scent as if it could anchor him. Hunter held him there, one hand firm on Noah's back, the other cradling his head. No words, no awkward pats. Just presence, solid and unyielding. The coldest man Noah had ever met, judging by those eyes, but in that moment the only one who stayed. They stood like that until the sobs ebbed to hiccups, the coffee cooling untouched. Hunter finally pulled back, just enough to look down. His expression unchanged, stoic, almost detached. You breathe now, he said simply. One foot in front of the other. That's how you outlast the rain. Noah nodded, wiping his face, feeling exposed and strangely seen. Why are you doing this? You don't even know me. Hunter's lips twitched, not quite a smile. Maybe I see a bit of myself in you. Lost in the wet. Figured someone pulled me out once. My turn. He didn't elaborate and Noah didn't push. Instead, they sat on the sagging couch, coffee mugs in hand, the city humming faintly beyond the fogged windows. Hunter talked in fragments, about his job restoring old motorcycles in a warehouse down by the docks, about growing up in a nowhere town called Ridge Valley up in the Cascades, where winters lasted 9 months and secrets festered like mold. His voice was low, measured, like he was rationing words, but each one landed with weight. Noah found himself opening up in return, the bourbon loosening his tongue. He spoke of Riley, not the polished version but the real one, the late nights arguing over nothing, the way Riley's touch had started to feel like obligation, the gnawing fear that Noah's heart was too big for anyone to hold. Hunter listened, really listened, his gaze never wandering, those cold eyes thawing just a fraction with each confession. By midnight, the conversation had shifted to lighter ground. Favorite dive bars, the best spots for pho in the International District, the absurdity of Seattle's obsession with coffee when the beans probably hated the damp. Laughter crept in, tentative at first, then genuine. Noah realized he hadn't laughed, not truly, in weeks. When Hunter stood to leave, the air between them hummed with something unspoken. Get some sleep, Noah. he said, pulling on his coat. World looks different in daylight. Noah walked him to the door, the threshold feeling like a precipice. Hey, thanks. For real. I don't know what I'd have done if. Hunter paused, hand on the knob. For the first time, a flicker crossed his face. Vulnerability gone as quick as it came. You'd have managed. But call if the rain comes back. He scribbled his number on a takeout napkin, pressed it into Noah's palm. Their fingers brushed, a spark in the quiet. Then he was gone, swallowed by the stairs and the night. Noah locked the door, leaned against it, the napkin clutched like a talisman. His chest ached, but not just from loss. For the first time in forever, it ached with possibility. The next morning dawned with that rare Seattle clarity. Sun slicing through the clouds like an apology. Noah woke tangled in sheets that smelled faintly of Hunter's cologne. The napkin on his nightstand a promise he wasn't sure he believed. His phone buzzed. A text from Riley. We need to talk. I'm sorry. Noah stared at it, thumb hovering, then deleted the message without reply. For once he chose himself. Work dragged at the coffee shop, the hiss of the espresso machine a white noise to his racing thoughts. Customers blurred, hipsters in beanies, tech bros barking orders, but every dark-haired man who walked in made his heart stutter, hoping it was Hunter. By afternoon, he'd convinced himself it was a fluke, a one-night rescue from a stranger who'd forget him by lunch. But as closing time neared, the bell above the door jingled, and there he was. Hunter, in a leather jacket zipped against the chill, hands in pockets, scanning the room until his eyes locked on Noah. No smile but a nod subtle like they shared a secret. Large black to go, he said when he reached the counter, voice low enough that only Noah heard the undercurrent. Noah's hand steadied as he poured, the routine grounding him. Coming right up. How's the warehouse today? Any bikes fighting back? Hunter leaned on the counter, close enough that Noah caught the scent of oil and rain. 172 Norton that's got a mind of its own. Thinks it's still on the racetrack. A beat. You holding up? The question hung simple, but Noah felt its depth. Better. Deleted a text I shouldn't have answered. Feels good. Hunter's eyes softened just a hair. Progress. He slid a 10 across the counter, fingers lingering. Dinner tonight? My place. I make a mean chili. Noah's pulse kicked up. It was casual, but the invitation felt loaded, like stepping from the sidewalk into the unknown. Yeah, I'd like that. They exchanged addresses, Hunter's in Fremont, a converted garage loft overlooking the ship canal. Noah finished closing in a daze, the shop's fluorescent lights buzzing like anticipation. On the bus ride home he replayed the night before. The hold, the listening, the way Hunter's presence had filled the voids Riley left. It scared him how quickly this felt real. Showered and changed into jeans and a soft Henley, Noah arrived at Hunter's just as dusk painted the sky bruised purple. The building was industrial chic. Exposed brick, garage doors rolled up to reveal a workbench cluttered with tools and chrome. Hunter answered barefoot, in faded Levi's and a white tee that hugged his frame, a wooden spoon in hand. Right on time, Hunter said, stepping aside. The space was sparse but lived in. A king bed pushed against one wall, bookshelves groaning with mechanics manuals and dog-eared sci-fi, a turntable spinning low jazz. The air smelled of cumin and garlic, chili simmering on a hot plate. They ate at a makeshift table of sawhorses and plywood, bowls steaming, cornbread crumbling between them. Conversation flowed easier here, away from the bar's haze. Hunter shared snippets of his past, leaving Ridge Valley at 18 after his father's death, bouncing between odd jobs until motorcycles became his anchor. They don't talk back, he said with a wry twist. Just need the right touch to run smooth. Noah opened up about his own drifts. Dropping out of a graphic design program because the screen felt too cold for his sketches, slinging coffee while dreaming of illustrating graphic novels. I draw people mostly. The way they hide hurt behind smiles. Guess that's why last night hit hard. Hunter's fork paused. Show me sometime. The request was quiet, but it landed like trust. After dinner they migrated to the couch, a battered leather thing facing the canal, where barges cut lazy paths under string lights. Hunter poured whiskey from a bottle older than both of them, and Noah pulled out his sketchpad from his bag, flipping to a recent piece. A man in shadow, face half-turned, eyes haunted. "That's you after Riley," Noah admitted, cheeks heating. "Before I knew your name." Hunter studied it, fingers tracing the lines. "Damn. You see right through." He set it down, turned to Noah, the space between them shrinking. "You're good at that. Seeing." The air thickened, charged. Noah's heart hammered as Hunter's hand found his knee, thumb brushing denim in slow circles. "Tell me if this is too soon," Hunter murmured, voice rough. But Noah leaned in, closing the gap, their lips meeting soft at first, tasting of whiskey and want. Hunter's kiss deepened, one hand cupping Noah's jaw, the other sliding to his waist, pulling him closer. It wasn't frantic. It was deliberate, like Hunter was memorizing every hitch of breath, every shiver. They tumbled back onto the couch, clothes shedding in a trail. Henley tugged over Noah's head. Hunter's tee discarded to reveal ink across his ribs. A compass rose, thorns weaving through the points. Skin on skin, Noah traced it, fingers trembling. "What does it mean?" "Direction." Hunter breathed against his neck, nipping gently. "Even when you're lost." The night unfolded in waves. Hands exploring, mouths claiming, bodies sinking in a rhythm that chased away the ghosts. Hunter was everywhere. Above, below, whispering Noah's name like a prayer. It was raw, reverent, the kind of sex that stitched wounds without words. After, tangled in sheets dragged from the bed, they lay with the canal's murmur as lullaby. Noah's head on Hunter's chest, listening to the steady thump beneath his ear. "You're not cold at all," he whispered. Hunter's arm tightened, only on the outside. But as sleep tugged, Noah caught the tension in his lover's frame. A shadow unspoken. The next weeks blurred into a fever dream of stolen moments. Mornings at the coffee shop where Hunter became a fixture, his large black a code for "I missed you." Evenings in Fremont, cooking disasters that ended in laughter. Nights where Noah sketched Hunter's sleeping form, capturing the vulnerability the man hid from the world. Seattle wrapped around them like a cocoon. Walks along the locks, watching salmon leap. Rainy drives in Hunter's battered truck to Alki Beach, windows fogged from shared heat. Quiet Sundays at Pike Place, fingers brushing over market stalls. Noah felt himself blooming, colors brighter, sketches bolder. The ache from Riley a distant scar. But Hunter remained an enigma. He'd vanish for hours into the warehouse, emerging grease-streaked and silent, dodging questions about his family with a shrug. "Old history," he'd say, changing the subject to Noah's latest drawing. Once Noah pressed, "Ridge Valley, what happened there?" Hunter's jaw tightened, eyes on the horizon. "Lost my way. Took years to find north." Then he'd kiss Noah fierce, as if to seal the past. Noah let it slide, too drunk on the present, until the night Riley reappeared. It was a Friday, Hunter working late on a custom Harley. Noah was sketching at home when the buzzer sounded. Riley stood there, rain-slicked, eyes red. "I fucked up, Noah. Let me in. Please." The words Noah had craved weeks ago now soured in his mouth. He stepped aside, not out of weakness but curiosity, wanting closure or maybe proof of his growth. They sat on the couch, Riley spilling apologies. The job stress, his own fears of commitment. How Noah's openness had scared him because it mirrored his buried shame. "I'm bi, okay? And I panicked. But I love you." Noah listened, heart twisting. Part of him yearned for the familiar, the easy rhythm they'd had before it frayed. But as Riley reached for his hand, Noah pulled back. "I love you too, Riley. But not like before. Someone showed me what holding on looks like." Riley's face crumpled. "Who? That guy from the bar? Come on, Noah. He's just a rebound." The door opened then, Hunter early takeout bags in hand. He froze, taking in the scene. Riley's disheveled hope, Noah's conflicted gaze. The air crackled. "Bad time." Hunter's voice was ice, but his eyes on Noah held a question. Riley stood, chin up. "Yeah, it is. We're talking." Noah rose, torn. "Hunter, this is Riley. My ex. He just showed up." Hunter set the bags down, slow, deliberate. His gaze flicked to Riley, assessing, then back to Noah. You need me to go? The choice hung heavy. Riley's plea echoed the safety of what was. Hunter's silence begged trust in what could be. Noah swallowed. No. Stay. Riley scoffed, grabbing his jacket. You're lost, Noah. Call when you come to your senses. The door slammed, echo of their first end. Hunter didn't move, waiting. Noah crossed to him, hands framing his face. He's gone. For good. Relief flickered in Hunter's eyes, brief as starlight. They ate cold Thai on the floor, tension easing into touch, reaffirming what words couldn't. But seeds of doubt sprouted. Riley's words lingered, rebound. Was that all Hunter was? And why did Hunter's phone buzz late nights, silence quick, his replies terse? 2 months in, the cracks widened. Noah threw a gallery opening for local artists, his sketches displayed for the first time. Hunter came, handsome in a button-down, pride quiet but evident as he mingled, hand possessive on Noah's low back. These are killer, he murmured, nodding to a piece of them intertwined, faces blurred in rain. You see us. The night peaked with champagne toasts, Noah glowing under praise. But as guests thinned, Hunter's phone lit up, unknown caller. He stepped away, voice low, urgent. Noah caught fragments. Not now. I said I'd handle it. When he returned, his smile was forced. Client emergency. Gotta bounce. Noah nodded, masking hurt. Okay. Text me. Always. But the kiss goodbye felt off, distant. Alone, Noah scrolled old photos, Riley's face haunting. Then a knock, Elijah, a mutual friend from the art scene, tipsy and earnest. Saw Hunter leave. You good? They talked on the fire escape, city lights sprawling below. Elijah confessed his own coming-out struggles, how love had saved him. Emboldened by wine, Noah kissed him, soft, experimental, a test against the growing chill. It lasted seconds. Elijah pulled back, gentle. Noah, I can't. You're with Hunter. Guilt flooded Noah as Elijah left. He texted Hunter, miss you. Come back? No reply till dawn. Handled it. Be there soon. Hunter arrived with coffee, eyes shadowed. They made love slow, reclaiming, but Noah's mind raced. That night, as Hunter slept, Noah checked his phone. Unlocked, forgotten on the nightstand. Text from V. Dad's worse. You owe us, Voss. Blood's thicker. A photo. An older man in a hospital bed, tube snaking, Hunter's twin in features. Noah's stomach dropped. Family. The past Hunter buried. He confronted him over breakfast, screen in hand. Who's V? Your brother. Hunter's fork stilled, face closing like a vault. Vincent. Yeah. The one from Ridge Valley? Why hide it? Hunter pushed back from the table, pacing. Because it's poison, Noah. Dad's dying, cancer. Owes debts from bad bets. Vincent thinks I should bail him out, sell the warehouse, come home. Like I didn't already lose everything once. Noah reached out. Tell me. The dam broke. Hunter sank to the floor, head in hands. Ridge Valley. A logging town gone bust. Father a drunk who beat secrets into silence. Hunter 16, kissing his best friend behind the mill, caught, shamed, the friend suiciding months later. Dad blamed me. Said I corrupted him. Kicked me out at 18 when he found out. Haven't looked back. Noah knelt, arms around him. You didn't corrupt anyone. You loved. Hunter's voice cracked. Love got him killed. Got me alone. He looked up, eyes raw. Can't lose you to that mess. You won't. Noah held him, but doubt crept. Hunter's coldness a shield, cracking now, but what if it reformed harder? The holidays loomed, Seattle's chill deepening. Noah pushed for truth, but Hunter withdrew, warehouse hours stretching. Riley texted sporadically, thinking of you. He holding up. Stoking old flames. Noah ignored, but isolation gnawed. Christmas Eve, snow rare magical blanketed the city. Noah cooked at Hunter's, tree strung with lights from a gas station lot. But Hunter arrived late, hollow-eyed. Vincent called. Dad's gone. Noah pulled him close. I'm sorry. Let's go to the service. No. Hunter's grip bruised. They don't want me. The fag son who ran. You're more than that. Tears stung. Let me in. Hunter shoved away voice venom. You think you get it? Your ex leaves, you cry, move on. I buried my mom young, watched my brother turn mean, dad die hating me. Love's a trap, Noah. I warned you. The word sliced. Noah recoiled. So I'm what? A distraction till it gets real. Hunter's silence screamed yes. Noah grabbed his coat. Fuck you, Hunter. I thought you saw me. Door slammed. Snow swirled as Noah wandered, phone dead, ending at a payphone near the market. He called Elijah, can I crash? But pride won instead. Riley's number punched in haze. Riley's place was warm, familiar. Noah, he breathed, pulling him in. They talked till dawn, Riley's arms a bomb. But as light crept, guilt twisted, this wasn't home. Hunter's text came midday. I'm sorry. Come back. Please. Noah deleted it, heart fracturing. Betrayal sting, Hunter's walls, his own weakness. Days bled into January gray. Noah moved out of the apartment, crashing with Elijah, sketching feverishly, dark pieces of shattered trust. Riley pursued, dinners turning intimate, but Noah's body rebelled, craving Hunter's rough edges. One night, pounding rain, a knock. Hunter, drenched, eyes haunted. I fucked up. Dad's will, Vincent contested, said I don't deserve shit. But it's not the money. It's you. I pushed because I can't lose another. Noah stood firm. You did lose me. By choosing fear. Hunter dropped to knees in the doorway, rain pooling. Then teach me different. I'm cold, Noah, always have been. But you thaw me. The sight broke something. Noah hauled him up, kissing salt and storm. They stripped in the hall, falling to bed in Elijah's guest room. Desperate, forgiving, bodies a battlefield of need. But morning brought clarity. We can't keep breaking, Noah said, tracing Hunter's scar. Therapy. For both. Hunter nodded, tentative. For us. Spring thawed Seattle slow. They rebuilt. Couples counseling in a Belltown office, Hunter opening about Ridge Valley ghosts, Noah unpacking Riley's shadow. Vincent called truce, a grudging inheritance split. Hunter donating his share to a queer youth center in Tacoma. Summer solstice, they drove to Ridge Valley, confronting the mill, now a ruin. Hunter scattered ashes he'd kept. Noah's hand in his. Free, Hunter whispered. Back in Seattle under gasworks stars, Noah proposed with a sketch. Them intertwined, compass pointing forward. Marry me. Hunter's yes was a vow, cold shell shattered. Yet life twisted. Fall diagnosis. Noah's sketches faltered, hands numb. MS early stage. Hunter held vigil in clinics, researching trials, his love a fortress. Through flares and remissions they endured, Hunter's steadiness, Noah's fire. In a Maine cabin for honeymoon, waves crashing like applause, they vowed again. Years on, Noah's cane tapped Seattle streets, gallery shows of adapted art. Hunter, silver at temples, restored bikes with Noah's designs etched in. Their story. Not perfect but human. Compassion in cracks, freedom in flaws, identity forged in hold.